If you are just a student and you don't have any kind of industrial knowledge, this video will definitely help you to know the difference between creating a part and actually manufacturing that part on a machine. Hey guys, hope you're doing fine. Welcome to another episode of Science Talks. My name is Naman, and in this video we'll discuss the manufacturing process of an actual turning part. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you an actual part drawing of an industrial component, and if you want to improve your programming skills, make a program for that part and send me on Instagram or Facebook @ScienceTalks. So without wasting any time, let's roll. So what we learn in a classroom is just simple basic things like to move a tool from positions like A to B, or to move a tool in clockwise or counterclockwise, or to create a basic programs for components like this, which are just simple components. But in actual practice, things are much more complicated. Now let's consider a basic turning component. Suppose this is a basic turning part, and we need to create a program for this part and also manufacture this part on a CNC. So let's suppose this is point A and this is point B. So if I ask a normal student to create a program for this part, he will normally create the tool path from point A to point B and create a program for the whole component. But is it actually possible on a machine? Let's find out. So on the machine, the first thing we do is to clamp our workpiece in the jaws. So let's suppose I clamped my workpiece from this side in the jaws in this way. So as you can see, our workpiece is clamped in the jaws in this way. Now if I try to move our tool from point A to point B, it's not practically possible because up to here the jaws are clamped and we cannot move our tool furthermore. That is why we cannot create one program to turn the whole part. So we need to divide this part in two sides, which is first side and second side. It means while actually manufacturing this component, first of all we'll clamp the tool and we'll create a program up to, let's suppose, at point C, up to here. So in the first side we'll clamp our workpiece from first side and move our tool up to point C, suppose, and we'll only create half program for this part. And once first side is done, which means once this much portion of this workpiece is done, we'll flip the workpiece over and again fix the workpiece in the jaws in this way. So as you can see, this much portion is already completed in the first side, and the remaining portion can be easily created in the second side. So in the second side we'll create a simple program from this point, suppose it's point 1 to this point. So the point is, to create an actual turning part, we'll need to create two programs for the same part. First, so now the second thing we need to choose are the parameters for our workpiece. So in parameters, first thing we need to choose the RPM, which is revolution per minute for our component. The second thing, we need to choose the feed rate depending on the profile of our workpiece. And the third thing we need to choose is the depth of cut for our workpiece. Also, these parameters are essential for increasing tool life, reducing cycle time, and for proper finishing. Also, these parameters can be selected on the basis of type of tool we're going to use, type of workpiece material, and type of finishing we require for a workpiece. Now, selection of tools is yet another important thing. So there are different kind of tools we use in a CNC turning, like we have boring bars, tool holders, and different type of insert. So selecting the correct boring bar or the correct insert is yet another important thing. Now the first thing we need to do is to mount our tools in the tool turret. So let's suppose this is a tool turret and it contains 4 number of tools, like 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we need to make sure that exact tool is mounted on its exact position. Suppose in our program we have given T02 with an offset number T02 for an insert of VNMG. So this insert should be mounted on number 2 position in our tool turret. So that is why in this case our VNMG insert will be mounted at this position. Jaw cutting is yet another important thing in a CNC turning. In CNC turning we use 3 jaw chuck, which is self-centered. So let's suppose this is a turning part and we have clamped this part in our jaws in this way. So as you can clearly see, the area of contact between our jaws and our workpiece is extremely less, so it will exert less clamping pressure on our jaws. So at higher RPM our workpiece may get out of our jaws. So to resolve this problem, jaw cutting is extremely important. So our jaws need to be cut in proper shape as of our workpiece. So in this case our jaw should be cut in this way so that our area of contact between our workpiece and jaws can be increased, which can exert more clamping pressure on our workpiece, and that is why we can run our machine at higher RPMs. So in this case, once jaw cutting is done, the jaws will fix on our workpiece in this way. So as you can see, now the area of contact is more, so it will exert more clamping pressure and our job will remain steady at higher RPMs. Now the third and the most important thing in a CNC is to take offset. So offsets are basically defining the origin point in our machine. So let's suppose this is a turning part. So to create a program, we need to define at least one 0 point. So in this case, this is our 0, 0 point. So once we create program for this part, all the dimensions will be considered from this origin point and our tool will move according to this point, which means our program will take references from this origin point. So that is why before running the machine, we need to take offsets, which means we need to define the 0, 0 point on our machine. Now once everything is done, there are certain things we need to double check. The first thing is the execution of the program. It means the program we have selected for the particular component should be executed. The second thing we need to make sure is the position of the tools. It means suppose I have given the value of T02 02 for VNMG insert. So we need to make sure that this insert should be located on position number 2 in our tool turret. And also the third thing we need to check is whether our job is clamped properly or not. So once everything is checked, we can run the machine and can easily manufacture our part. Also, as I've said earlier in this video, this is a part drawing of an actual manufacturing component. So make a program for this part and send me on Instagram or Facebook at CNC Talks. So that was all from my side today. These were few things which you don't learn in a classroom. So if you find this video informative, do share with the friends and give it a big thumbs up. Also, you can send me your queries on Instagram and Facebook at CNC Talks. And if you are new to my channel, do subscribe and press the bell icon. Thanks a lot.